But now they're going to run the Ashe and Torb, and Shaxx being ultra aggressive, already trying to get into the back line here.
Okay, well, Lastro's down first. That's not a good start. Losing one of your supporters and now only have Rain to heal you. You want to look for a big reset here if you're Valiant, I should think. Arns is on the point, mind you, dueling out with the Reaper. He does spot the TP, and the wait, what? Shaxx TP right next to himself, and straight into the line of sight of Arns. Double kill for Rascal's turret as well. Nice little start off for the Shock there. So they do
change here. Moth is going to get off of the Zenyatta, which I mentioned is a bit of a greedy support hero. Shaxx is going to get to the back line, and I think that's why Moth is switched, just so that he can defend against these backline flanks, because that's what Valiant's doing.
Oh no! Moth found him, isolated him on the sides, and ends up pushing him off the map. Although Shaxx is still alive, which is most important. Someone does need to heal him though. Doesn't end up happening, and Choi ends up just finishing off with the spheres. Shock end up going for the recap. 21% as well as the E coming through from Choi. Big shatter on the sidelines though, but Violet stays alive. Dream and Super end up trading, but KSP on the flank once again. They got to get on the point though, as Valiant are losing time, and Choi comes up with a big flux. 2 people now down. Valiant still have to touch. Self-destruct coming through from a Gravy, and someone is on the point for the Valiant. It is going to be Rain, but that does mean he's not supporting his team. With the beat in hand, the Valiant might still have a chance to come back in this, as KSP ends up finding a kill onto Rascal. This could be a transfer on KSP as well.
He's got to be careful.
He's got to be careful, but McGravy's already dead. This is kind of bad news bears for the Valiant right now, but Shaxx is going to be nanoed. He's in the back line. All they need to do is kite. The Valiant end up finding the flip here, Hex, but Shaxx still very low. Someone please heal him. He's been sub 50 HP for the longest time, it feels. Valiant can now play this rather aggressively up onto the up and quite forward, as they do have Super on the ball, who can't really provide too much defense for the rest of his team. Well, absolutely no fear. Shaxx going so low. He's going to teleport away, but McGravy's already dead. Arns is now pressuring the point, so Valiant have to do something. Turret ends up killing Shaxx off. This might just be it. A rather anticlimactic finish, it feels like. A hack onto the Rhino as well, so he can't use that shatter that he had built up all this time. The Shock not even taking the fight on the point, as Arns found the
size.
Symmetry. I don't know. Valiant are jumping in. Problem is they have to deal with the Mortality Field first. That wall is going to provide a rather large barrier for McGravy to get to, and he ends up going down. Dreamer as well, just kind of run through. Perfect composition and perfect heroes for the Shock, it feels like you said, especially with the May, it's very hard to get anything done.
And once a team has taken over this point, it gets so hard to get back in here. We'll see if the Valiant...
One less barrier to kind of work around. Turret's on the ceiling, almost insta-killing Lastro there, but he does end up using the rally. Shaxx is frozen in the spot, as he can't really do all too much. Yeah, there you go, he's frozen. Luckily enough, though, Dreamer was there to help him out. Blizzard's going to go on point as well as that beat. Everybody's frozen up in the sides. It should be easy pickings now for the Shock. The Immortality Field's going to come out as well to save Violet. Moth ends up taking out his counterpart in Rain, as the Shock continue to hold this point. Valiant just struggling so hard from getting anything done. Even blowing ults there. Shaxx jumps in, used the Death Blossom to try and get something done, but nothing happened at all.
Yeah, Shaxx went for the carry, and it's just so frustrating against these Symmetra turrets. They slow, they do damage, but mostly they just eat up valuable ammo that you wish you were using on something else. I mean, it's just, you saw online
rather soon. Dream is so low already. They're forced to use the beat to actually engage, and now Rascal can just open this one up. Rascal throws it out on the point. What's KSP really going to do on this clone? Not too much. He ends up getting taken out as the Rhine, and now changing back onto the Echo. Gravy finds a nice bomb in the back line, though. Good start, as Shaxx also found Rascal just kind of hiding away. Or it looked like an easy teamfight win there for the Shock. Almost got flipped around in a blink of an eye, Hex. As Valiant...
Greatest idea. Paris learned that yesterday.
That is big dynamite as well. Nice shatter on the side. That's everybody on their back. Goodbye, Lastro. Goodbye, Dreamer. And Valiant's hopes and dreams of winning this map are crumbling right before them. The Valiant are scattered all over the place as the Shock jump back onto the point. 99% is here over time as well. Only one person can touch, but no one can get there. Shock were just like that. Field. Sending Violet also low. Does get taken out by Shaxx. That's a very aggressive charge, but Shaxx actually playing frontline in that situation. And look at the cleave! Moth at 70% already. KSP takes 2 though. One with a laser, one with a punch to the head, but it doesn't matter because that AoE damage not only coming from Rascal, coming from and coming from Moth also. How do you really deal with that? Well, Valiant didn't deal with that also well, and they end up losing the first.
Doing so, they got pulled back.
Shaxx is so low as well, he's going to have to get out of there rather quickly. Rascal's going to be able to focus beam him down, and now even Lastro's falling low. You see Rascal just cleaning up the back line, and that's the problem with touching at the last second, right? you don't really have enough time to check corners and check where Rascal is going to be and then turn around to try and deal with him, because you need to get on the point and touch, as a lot of ultras are the Valiant. Adaptive circuits have been engaged, with KSP instantly jumping out of the Ana clone, and whoops-a-daisy. There you go, there's Bob, there's a Flux, and there's Moth just swinging away. That was a very quick and clean team fight from the Shock. Rascal as well, mind you, did transform into Brig, so was able to hit the enemy team. No one's dealing with Violet either, mind you. A beat forward to try and isolate Smurf, but they're not able to do it just yet. Immortality Field comes out and saves it for the time being. A rally as well is going to stack all that armor, and Shock just baiting in the Valiant. Rascal comes up with 2, and the Valiant looking completely lost, Hex.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Like, San Francisco is so good at catching aggression, because you remember, like, Season 2 was when they dominated into
the Sigma and sets up a nice little flanking angle. Speaking of flanks, that's exactly what McGravy's doing now, but the rest of his team are just going to fall over. Shax and Dream are already dead. Can KSP do anything with this ult? He manages to maybe find one, but no, the Immortality Field yet again from Violet is going to save the rest of the team, and now it's going to be the slow trudge to 3rd point as Valiant are needing to touch.
And that's going to allow Rascal to maybe swoop over top, hit some stickies. They're going to open it up with
self-destruct. His Arns is already dead as well. Perfect shield from Choi to save the rest of his team. Immortality Field down for Violet, and he ends up falling over to Rain. Spawn advantage in the favor of the Valiant as well, so they are in a very good spot, taking down a couple of people. Rain does end up falling, but it shouldn't matter all too much. A couple of meters does remain, though, for the Shock to actually get that payload in, and for them to go to
now. They've been doing very well with their ultimate bank. McGravy's self-destruct have bought them all the space in the world.
What? Just like that, instantly, 2 kills come through for the Shock. And Dreamer's Shadow got interrupted as well. Desperation for the Valiant. You can really feel it right now as the payload's going to go in. Like, McGravy's going to die late here. He's not going to be able to come back out on the D.Va. Dreamer's ult interrupted, changed over to the ball for a brief moment to try and touch. Rain has beat. He's going to have to use it to get there. The hole's going to be available for Smurf, but they still managed to touch. The Flux from Choi lifting everybody up into the skies. Dreamer, KSP, and Shax are already dead. 1 minute and 54 seconds in the time bank for
deal with KSP.
Pew, pew, pew. It does seem rather... There's the beam in the air. Oh, the sticky bombs don't do almost anything. Rascal winning the 1v1 versus KSP, and the rest of the Shot winning the 5v5 in the corridors as well. Again, we spoke about it just a moment ago, Hex, but what a Valiant love to do right now is run at the Shock, and Shock have almost... Beam is going to come through as well from Rascal, who's holding the high ground, although KSP does take out Arns. They do manage to finally dislodge him. Couldn't get the bomb off either, mind you, as the Valiant now jump onto the point. KSP may have gone down, but still Valiant with 1 tick on the board, almost make that 2. There you go. Now the Shock have to do something. Rascal changes over to the D.Va, earns himself a self-destruct, throws it in. Shax and Dream going to have to be careful, instantly killing off Rain, and now only 1 support to back the Valiant up. Lastro is rallying, so a little bit extra armor on top is going to be good for them, but not anymore as the Shock clean sweep the Valiant off the point, but not before they can get 2 ticks. Dying. They use the beat to surge themselves forward, and Dreamer needs to find something here, but Orisa turning golden does mean he can't really go for the shatter. KSP finds the kill onto Rascal as they still try and pressure this point, but it's little to no avail right now as there's only 1 person on it. Capture time isn't too quickly. Moth has found himself in a very sore situation, now going back to spawn as Shax finishes him off. Smurf jumping back down to the point, and now a Death Blossom on top, more defensively this time. Smurf and Arns end up falling, and finally the Valiant have done it. They managed to crack the first point wide open and add 3 minutes to their time bank, moving. The Death Blossom ready and waiting. Rascal's going to come up big though and change into the Rhine and actually provide an additional shield now. Smurf's going to be able to come back with the Bongo if they're not careful. The Shadow does hit the ground in Immortality Field once more, making sure Rascal can't die. The Death Blossom on the ground only manages to kill Rascal's clone, and Arns just free firing in the back takes out Dreamer. They've halted Valiant once again on this second point, delaying McGravy's spawn just a little bit there as well. But opening up with a supercharger for the Shock though. Bob's going to come out as well. There's a self-destruct in the backline like you were talking about, but Arn's already taken out Shax. This is going to be it. The Shadow hits the ground, 2 people down, but Smurf just standing guard straight in front of him, not letting anybody move. Lastro's going to go down to Bob. Another kill as well with the dynamite as Violet is just sitting behind his tanks, just taking pop shots. He doesn't need to heal. The Shock have wiped the Valiant, and just before second point, they're going to get held. Shock now. Dreamer gets his head clicked on as Arns does take him out of the fight. Super's struggling to get back onto high ground, but that'll do. Rain ends up with the assassination kill. However, Choi is just trying to pay attention to the main gate, and Rain finds another kill. Are you serious? 2 kills now for Rain? Maybe a third even? No, McGravy's going to be able to clean it up, but Rain has already done enough damage in this fight to make it very winnable for the Valiant.
Oh, this is over. You're not going to get back here to respawn, and they're going to toss in...
Run over. As the rally is building up for both sides now. Self-destruct launch in from McGravy right towards the spawn. Can he catch anything? He's not just around that corner. That was so close. Super lays down the shadow. Didn't really quite find all of anything as KSP does click on him and gets to take him out of the game. 5 minutes remain for the Valiant, but they are steamrolling onto the point. Arns come back with a little bit of revenge onto Rain. Manages to kill him off. Spawn advantage, of course, are in the favor of the Shock as the Blizzard does make sure they can't touch it for the time being, but KSP does manage to kill 2 as Dreamer is still on the point contesting.
Super does a great job, takes out KSP. It's one of the benefits of using that Wrecking Ball. You can get up, use that mobility to really shut down the enemy.
KSP taking a very aggro angle, but he can, to be fair, he has 2 shields in front of him, including that Brig. Now he spots out 1 in the high ground. He takes an icicle to the head, Morse to back off. Self-destruct launched up point. Rain just wall ride straight into it. But the shadow from the back's going to be good though. Violet and Joy end up going down. The Death Blossom as well to try and clear out everybody else. Super and Moth end up falling as well. The Valiant rushing onto the point. KSP takes out Rascal as well. It's going to be easily 2 ticks, but can it be a third? Choi's going to come back on the Wrecking Ball for some additional time, but Arns gets taken out as well. And now the re-engage from the Shock as they do steamroll on, but the issue is they haven't got much to back them up. Only this rally to see them through. Shax ends up taking out Super after he's charged straight into the wall. The Blizz is going to separate them for the time being, but that's all she wrote now, I think, for the Valiant, as Dreamer and Shax end up going down.
It's been a couple times now that Rascal has gotten his Blizzard up just in time to save his team. They're going to be able to stall out McGravy too. Do they have a Ryan on the field? Maybe Charge here if you can?
Nope.
Just kind of
spotting out that bullet trail. There's the shadow. Oh, it's a big one. And the Blizzard laid on top as well. Shax could barely get to his feet before he was taken out. Lastro taken out as well. Just give up, buddy. You've only got 1 more push to make it. KSP with no HP. He ends up taking out Rascal, but still a delay. Aggressive shadow, or aggressive charge even from Dreamer. And a boost onto Super though. Dreamer just gets carved like a pumpkin on Halloween. Violet's going to go down though. Now only 1 healer available, but it's Moth on the Ana. He's going to be able to sustain people through this. I can imagine Rain trying to assassinate someone in the backline, but it's going to get naded. Moth is going to be able to take him out as well as Shock. Just clean, sweet Valiant on the point. Ball even from Dreamer to try and get back in time, but this is going to be it. 79% on the board for the Valiant as OT is here. Rascal finishes off Dreamer, and now it will be the Valiant's chance to defend, but Shock with a very...
are going to get their healers back.
Oh, there's the window though. Violet looking for more final blows. Immortality Field is going to get thrown out as well. He's going to go fairly low, however, so has to play a little bit more safe here. But Shax goes forward, almost gets him with a hammer kill, it looked like. But Rascal, 2 kills, 1 beam. Lastro and Rain end up going down. No healers now for the Valiant. Every bit of damage is permanent. That's why we want to see Rascal on Echo. Such a perfect hero for his just style of play and just for the player himself. Rascal killing off KS.
Should all get ultimates here, and I love that they're running the...
Oh my
never mind.
Word.
I mean, it's just a head on legs. It's not the most impressive shot, but like, Alan's taking out Shax is enormous.
It's bad news though. Look at that, instantly charging through the flux to make sure everybody can't move as the supercharger comes down. It's just like a shooting gallery. And now they're going to jump onto the point and bunker down. KSP's going to be able to take out the duplication from KSP, but it's not going to matter. The Bob doing a lot of damage, yes, but is it going to be enough? It might just be, though, but McGravy gets knocked out of his ult. Lastro eventually kills off Super on what seems... So they're okay for the time. Dreamer taking a rather aggressive position, ends up getting booped off, and is actually going fairly low as well. Luckily receives the Harmony Orb too. Transcendence even forced out here. And a big body block on to Super in that corridor. Although I say that, the Immortality Field is still going to save him as they kill Lastro straight out of his ult. And now McGravy's going to go down as well. It's a snowball here for the Shock as they're now able to rotate to the point. They're going to be able to get another tick as well. KSP's on the side. He gets 1v1 by Violet and that's it! The Shock